Phoenix Rising, Alchemical Tarot, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I wanted to come on tonight and talk about this full moon we have in Scorpio, this full flower moon. It's intense. I don't know. Some of y'all may have been feeling the energies a couple days prior. You know how you can usually feel the energy of the full lunation a couple days prior, and then continue to feel it a couple days after. But it's mainly gonna affect the fixed signs. I mean, everyone's gonna feel the effects of this full moon and can use the energy of the full moon to your advantage, but it's going to affect with even more intensity the fixed signs. So Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo. So that means me doubly. I'm Leo. I'm a Leo sun, Scorpio rising. So it's going to get me even more intensely than others. But I feel at home in this energy. I've learned not to fight it. Just go with the flow and don't fight the transformation. So anyway, we're going to get into some of the planetary aspects that are going on. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you guys. I'm going to pull from my Wild Unknown Alchemy deck by Kim Krans. This deck is gorgeous. It's and so informative. So we'll get some messages out of there for you guys. We'll pull some tarot from Clarity Tarot. Thought I'd use my black deck for the occasion. And then we're gonna pull from Otherworld. I'll pull a message from you guys from the Otherworld Oracle. See what we can get from there. And I'm not sure yet, but just depending on time, I might pull from Black Moon Astrology. I thought, yeah, it's a full moon. I could use my moon decks, but I really want to know what's because it's such a transformational energy. I really want to know what's happening out, what we're alchemizing as a collective, or what we're needing to alchemize as a collective, since we're all going through this transformational process and rebirth and renewal. And so I'm specifically using this deck for that purpose, for that reason. And then, Scorpio has such an otherworldly energy to them. I thought, what a perfect deck to use, my otherworldly oracle deck for Scorpio. So, with that being said, let's get into. Oh, and I'm wearing my microphone, y'all. I'm listening to the feedback, and um, I put it a little bit higher so I can try to remember that I'm wearing it and not be a microphone menace. Hopefully, the sound quality will make a difference. I've heard some feedback about the quality of the sound depending on what kind of device you're on listening to the video. So hopefully that won't be an issue. Hopefully it'll be a non-issue. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, full moon, Scorpio. All right, so what does that mean? Well, first off, Scorpio is intense. um, we're known for, I say we, yes, because I'm part Scorpio, is known for their emotional depth and searching for inner values. Um, it's a water sign, so it, they're very tapped into their intuition. It's a very intuitive sign. Um, and in the tarot, in the tarot's Scorpio represents death, the tower, which is rebirth and transformation, and it's no different for the energy that we're we're dealing with during this full moon. So that should give you some insight to kind of what to expect. Um, Plan on going into the depths, going into the depths of your inner self and searching for your inner values and what else? What else? So your inner wisdom and emotional depth, and but mostly what it is an opportunity, if you think about it, an opportunity for growth and to really spring forward and renew yourself. Renewal. It's when you think of transformational growth, think the phoenix rising from the ashes. My name is totally appropriate right now for this energy. So think the phoenix rising from the ashes, you know, it truly represents death, and the tower. So the death tower is about destruction and, you know, tearing down structural foundations in order to rebuild um, with a solid foundation. So don't fight it. Don't fight it. In fact, you can, a way to work with the energies and delve into the energies is to go deeper, go dive into it, and, you know, allow yourself to feel. It's not a time to numb. It's not a time for suppressing your emotions or numbing your emotions. You really want to allow yourself time to sit with whatever you're feeling and allow it to come up. um, Allow it to come up and surface. You may be feeling extra emotional. um, you may be feeling like you want to cry or purge, and those are all very good things to do. Allow yourself to cry and purge and let these emotions pass through you and sit with them, feel them, examine them, look at them, try to understand the source and where they're coming from, and why. The more you can understand and look at it fully in the face, you can better release it and let it go, and use that energy to transform. As we know, the more you let go and remove excess baggage and emotional gunk, the more space you make for yourself to bring in the things that you want, the things that you need, the things that you're trying to manifest, which leads me to the next thing. You know, full moons are all about what you want to bring in. You know, new moons are, or full moons are what you want to release. Yeah, releasing. But it's this particular moon is a great opportunity, a great time to manifest. So really think about what you want to bring in, and know that it is a very energetically potent time for that, for those to come into fruition. Confirmation verb. I usually can't stand when people say that, but it happened and it automatically came into my head. So it there must be some truth to it if it's sticking. So what else? What else can we expect? So with this full moon, um, not only is it meant to be purifying, you know, yes, yes, transformational process can be painful and emotional and highly charged. Um, but if you can work with these energies and allow yourself some self-care and some time to sit with it and sit with them and nurture yourself and go through your full moon rituals, whatever that looks like for you. Um, I'll leave you with one with one before we go, or before we start getting into the cards, and just some things you can do. But the main theme though is really simple. It's transformation and really going within to to shine a light on these things hidden in the emotional depths of our soul. So before we move on, let me see if there's anything else. Mm, yeah. Okay, so couple of things I wrote down because, you know, when we think of transformation, it's easy to say, okay, yeah, this energy is transformational. It's renewing, it's awakening, but what does that look like? You know, what is that? How can that manifest for some of us? We hear it, but what does that look like? So it could look like an upheaval. It could look like the tower. It could look like major life changes, um, directional changes. So it could show up with, and it's not pretty. Changes are we're creatures of habit. So you know change and we naturally have a resistance to change, although it's worth exercising that muscle to go with change and allow it, and also seek it for your growth, for your spiritual growth and evolution of your soul. But naturally, and this is all of us, naturally we're all creatures of habit. So anything that can come abruptly as a sudden change or disruption to your norm or your day-to-day life, or surprises, things that can trigger the heck out of you, because usually when we're seeing these emotions, these more challenging emotions that we're focusing on, they're not pretty. So it doesn't feel like sunshine and lollipops, although there's the promise of the sun at the end. So um, there's a reward. The reward is there for you for doing the inner work. So and that reward looks differently for everyone, but it's definitely worth it. It's rewarding enough to it for it's worth it. It's for your soul's evolution. So I wrote down a couple of things of what that could possibly look like, instead of just expecting transformation. So um, yeah, it can include some life changing things. Trigger warning. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer or a fear monger, because that's not the case. But it could show up as major life altering things like death, divorce, a new career, um, stuff like that. A wedding. It doesn't even have to be bad. I mean, well, transformation is usually, but anyway, um, it can look like that. So just think anything life changing, altering, and in some cases sudden. So expect that. With this Scorpio lunation, we can expect to illusions to be stripped away. So it's like the rose-colored glasses being taken off and seeing things with clearly as you need to, regardless of how, if it hurts or not, and doing what you will with that truth, that information, kind of like the Queen of Swords energy. It's like having discernment and clarity, and then it's like, okay, well then what do you do with it? Now what do you do with that? So that's why it's like being forced to face truths, hidden truths, even. So maybe even your own, not just your own, but other truths around you, something you. So it can manifest that like that. Um, it's going to energy clearing. So it could manifest as your energy channels and chakras clearing and balancing. So maybe some more intuitive information and downloads coming down to you, having access, higher level of awareness and consciousness. That's considered transformational change. So just having a shift in perception and or vibrational frequency shifts. Ultimately, these transformations are to for your evolution and your ascension process. So um, I would like to think that goes hand in hand with raising your level of consciousness and perception, and also your frequency. So it's having access to higher knowledge and coming closer in alignment with your higher self. So those are some things. Um, it's an opportunity to, what did I write? How come I can't read my own writing? I can't read my own writing, but I get the gist. I know what I'm trying to say here. It's coming from, it's acting. It gives you the opportunity to act from a place of from your higher self instead of ego. So there's that, and a chance to recreate yourself with transformational changes. Again, it's like the tower, so it's breaking down to rebuild. When you rebuild, you want to build better. You want to have it's an opportunity to build a solid foundation of something, and the tower is just ourselves. It's what we build up. It's made up of our personality, our everything, all the things that protect us. But if it's built on a faulty foundation, or built out of fear, or just picture uh, cracks, foundational cracks in the foundation. If it's built on a faulty foundation, then it's gonna crumble. So there's that. So, in addition to having I think the full moon in Scorpio is pretty self-explanatory. Before I move on to some of the other planetary aspects, though, a good thing, really good thing to do, and I've mentioned this before in other videos, and I can't stress it enough because I feel like it should be part of your regular hygiene, and that's your energy hygiene. So, you can task stack and when you're cleaning your body, also clean your energy body. But during these lunations, these full moons, part part of a full moon ritual that you could do could include, and should include, water, especially because Scorpio is a water sign, and water represents intuition and emotions and fluidity. And so it's good to use the element of water when you're doing these full moon rituals. So I would like to think a bath, have a nice spiritual bath. You could put essential oils, you could put flowers, whatever you want to put in it, but make it like a soup. Make it like a soup, and light some candles, some incense, and set some intentions. You could put crystals in your water, crystals in your bath. That would be rose quartz, clear quartz, um, maybe even some stones to absorb any negative energies, like black tourmaline, any of the darker stones, onyx, jet. Um, I personally like black tourmaline, but you can also do smoky quartz. Um, I wouldn't put hematite in the tub though. And you don't have to actually put it in the water. You can just have them around too. Selenite is good clearing energy, a clearing mineral. I call it a crystal, but it's a mineral. It's a good clearing mineral though, and it's self-clearing, so you don't have to cleanse it in order for it to work. So I love selenite for that reason. It connects you closely to the angelic realm and higher frequencies. It can raise the vibrational frequency of any room. So I would start with doing a cleansing and energetic cleansing bath with candles and all of the things that I just named. All those things, set your intentions. You can also write down what you want to bring in, what you want to let go of. Journaling is going to be a huge deal at this time. Journaling often helps you bring those things that are kind of in the subconscious or hidden in the unconscious and bring it up to the surface. So that's one way that can help you to do that, by journaling. I did all of my journaling earlier today. I did my energetic cleanse earlier as well as my body cleanse. So got all that out of the got all of that out of the way. But what else? You can. Hmm, that's pretty much it as far as any rituals. I don't want to go into too much depth as far as rituals. There's plenty online that you can Google. I've done other videos that you can listen to that has I believe it's the full moon in Libra. In the full moon in Libra video that I did, I believe there's ritual you can use. There's also candle magic where you can use specific color candles to help aid you in your manifestations and in your cleansing, clearing process and your transformational process. So, yeah, using certain tools and um, earthly things to help aid in your process to make it as cozy and comfy as possible. Just really show yourself a lot of love and care at this time, and others too. It's emotionally charged and the energy is intense. So, with that being said, I just want to touch a little bit more on some other aspects. We have a lot of signs. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but I thought it was worth mentioning that how many signs we actually have in Taurus right now. Of course, the sun is in Taurus. We're still in Taurus season. Happy birthday to all the Tauri. But we also have Uranus, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury. Luckily, they're all direct right now. Venus is just post retrograde, but right now they're all direct. Pluto, however, went retrograde in sign of sign did Pluto go retrograde in? Oh, Aquarius, duh. Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius, and of course Pluto, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is the planet of rebirth, destruction, death, awakening. So and with it in retrograde, it intensifies the energy a little bit more and also turns the energy inward. So instead of it being an external focus, it's going to be more of an internal focus, and that's why, hence the personal transformational changes. So there's that. So let yourself cry, let yourself feel your emotions. Don't numb, don't hide, don't fight it. Just let it go. Let it go, let it feel. Remember that. All right, so now with that being said, I want to pull a couple cards for you guys and see what you guys are, what the collective, I'm part of the collective too, so what we are alchemizing, what we're needing to alchemize at this time. Again, the unknown, the wild unknown oracle. I'm going to start with our oracle this time and then do tarot. How about that? Part of the reason why is because um, I pulled some of these earlier for myself, and I ended up needing to clarify with tarot. So, thank you, Spirit. What messages do we have for the collective at this time for the highest good of all? What is the collective alchemizing or needing to alchemize at this time? What messages do we have for the collective? Wasn't ready for that. I'm not ready for that. It's too much energy. Too much energy. Where did that come from? I don't know. I don't know who that was. Thank you, Spirit. What does the collective need to know? This, I'm still getting used to shuffling this deck because it's hexagonal shaped, which I like, but it's my only deck like this, so it's new to me. All right, 2 more shuffles. 1, 2. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so interest. Oh, I thought that was Pluto. Never mind, it's lead. All right, so we got sulfur, the golden rose, and then at the bottom of the deck, lead. So I'm going to read to you what this means, but right off the bat, it looks good because the colors, anytime there's red, it represents vitality and vigor and passion and blood and life. So it's life force. So, and then same thing with yellow, it's like the energy of the sun, very high vibrational, vibrant. I'm thinking of the solar plexus. the root chakra, creativity, and then lead. Lead is in, it's a little darker and shadowier, but still it looks balanced. You have black and white and gray. You have the in between, so it's some gray in between. It's not entirely dark, and the colors with this particular deck truly matter. I mean, I like to take the colors into consideration in all decks, but in this particular one, it's significant, even more so. Okay, so let's read sulfur. What does that mean? Number 29. 29. I got it. Sometimes here it is, sulfur. Good. I was gonna say sometimes my Roman numerals, once it gets too high, I'm like, what number is that? Okay. Um, evaporation, up and out, both and. Envision what is geyser like in your life right now. What needs to move up and out to be freed so it can evaporate? The sulfur card, oh, it goes with my. And I deliberately wore these colors because when I think of Scorpio or transformation, um, death and rebirth, for some reason I think of red and black. It's very Phoenix rising energy. So I think of the colors of the Phoenix. Ooh, black and red. And, orange, of course, but it's just another variation of red. Anyway, continuing on. On an esoteric level, sulfur is the first of what is known in alchemy as tria prima, or the three primes. Along with salt and mercury, it makes up a threefold phenomenon that symbolizes the uniting of soul, sulfur, body, salt, and mind, mercury. On a tactile level, sulfur is responsible for both the off-putting smells and the therapeutic properties of a mineral bath. It soothes and it stinks. Literally, to understand sulfur is both to embrace both, and mentally. See, it's like the transformational, and that's perfect because it's like the transformational process in itself. It's like, yeah, you got to drudge through some mud, but there's a prize at the end of the ditch, or whatever. It's like digging through shit to get to, or putting fire to coal to bring out the diamond. There. Okay, let's finish. Don't be discouraged if the meaning of this card seems to evaporate before your eyes. For now, keep in mind that what is gross contains beauty, and what is beautiful contains its own demise. Sulfur's job is to push the geyser up and out, dissipating the pressure. Don't be surprised if what appears to suck or stink soon becomes your great gift. Exactly what we were saying. Thank you, Spirit. Exactly what we were saying. Perfectly aligned. Okay, let's that seems pretty self-explanatory. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Golden Rose 38. I want to say 38. I think L is 40. 48. I think L is 40. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. 48, or forever hold your peace. All right, here it is. The Golden Rose. The rose has long been used as a symbolic image for the summation of alchemy, the the outer petals representing the first 7 planets and operations, while the inner petals protect the revelations from unwelcome eyes. But what exactly resides at the center of the golden rose? Alchemy tells us it is a secret, and it is meant to be kept as such. The rose spirals both inward and outward simultaneously, It offers beauty to the onlooker while concealing its inner chambers. This is the complex nature of the golden rose. It challenges the alchemists to reorient their thinking, to devote their work to honoring the secret rather than attempting to become the master of it. Kneel at the altar of the unknown. Cherish the golden rose as it is a model of the self. More will be revealed. Ponder the word secret. It indicates there is something cherished that is worth protecting, worth devoting oneself to the search of. Your soul. Observe how many cards with roses appear in one reading. They are indicators of the chemical garden awakening of the mystical. Okay, never mind that. That's for me. Um, to go deeper and connect a little bit better with this energy, ponder the stars as golden roses. Listen to Patti Smith's Mother Rose. I'm not familiar with that. But something precious to be protected and kept, held dear and kept secret, or, you know, it's interesting because that reminds me of Scorpio's energy too. You know, Scorpios are known to be very um, not only private, but also secretive, very secretive and mysterious at times. And this also reminds me too of nurturing something within, and it not necessarily being a secret per se, but it's something that doesn't need to be talked about. You know, it's like you don't need to discuss beauty in order to see it. You know, so it's the same thing with the transformational process. Two, there's just trust that there's something beautiful going on underneath the surface, even if it feels like it sucks at first, even if it's, you know, kind of like our other card, our sulfur card. You know, there's something beautiful happening beneath the surface, and it doesn't necessarily have words to discuss it or need to be discussed. It's something personal. Transformational growth and changes are something is something that's deeply personal um, and unique to each individual. So it's a personal thing, but it also taps into the energy. This also touches on the energy of Scorpio with their secretive and mysterious nature. And then also, I'm noticing now as we're talking the white rose, and in the tarot, in the traditional Rider Waite um, representation of death, death is riding on a white horse, and he's carrying a flag with an image of a white rose on there, and it's supposed to represent the promise of, well, it represents a lot of things: purity and growth after destruction, after death. So it's fertile ground. After there's been death and destruction, there's hope and purity. Okay, let's move on to lead. I can tell you right now, it's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be heavy, y'all. Let's go back. Let's go back to the X's. This is 20. Okay, I just turned on Pluto. I won't read it though because I'm trying to I'm trying to conserve on time. All right, here we go. Next page. All right, lead. Density, weight, Saturn. So it's karmic too. Um, Lead is the first metal. Its properties are heavy, dense, and unwaveringly steady. It is often perceived as the metal that initiated the entire alchemical drive to turn what is base, lead, into what is noble, gold. It correlates to the planet Saturn and its love of rules and structure. On one hand, this card implies a fixed position or burden that may be weighing down the work. On the other hand, lead can arrive just in time to ground a situation, to bring an alchemist back to the humble beginnings. Either way, the presence of lead is sobering. We cannot ignore it. The impatient alchemist may be discouraged to see it in the laboratory, as it reminds us of how far we have to go. Approach this card with reverence for the ongoing process. Uh, to to ponder the stability of the anchor. So again, this reminds me, this is perfectly aligned. The fact that it's ruled, this is ruled by Saturn. Saturn, represents karma and often the stuff that we're dealing with, the stuff that we are alchemizing in order to evolve. It's the stuff that we've come in from past lives, from um, ancestral. It's the stuff that we've incarnated with that's been passed down ancestral through our lineage. And it also, there was something else. Um, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, rewind. Rewind. So Saturn, and then also, I lost it. But anyway, with it being lead and heavy and dense, your what you're alchemizing, you're turning something very heavy like lead into, like it said, into something noble, gold, which is very high vibrational and solar plexus energy. It's creative energy. It's the energy that that links you to source, that 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 allows you to co-create with spirit and source. So it's and then gold, of course, is lighter. It's a lot lighter, and in spirituality, it's a lot. It's higher vibrational. It's a lot a lot more closely related to divinity. So think the sun when you think gold, and mm, it talks about, yeah, we're talking about metals, but it's talking about the, what did it say, base, body, something heavy, and turning it into something noble, something noble. So that's what we're alchemical, that's what we're alchemizing. That's what we're alchemizing, lead into gold. Beautiful. I love it. So with that being said, let's pull a couple tarot. I'm pulling from the Clarity Tarot, a deck for creative visualization. They're all black and white. The images are very simplistic, minimalistic, which kind of allows your intuition to um, draw other images that you normally wouldn't get. All right, thank you, Spirit. What messages do we have for the collective, for the highest good of all? What does the collective need to know in order to alchemize and transform? Nine of Wands. Anything else? Thank you, Spirit. Temperance. One more. Justice. Okay. Justice. I swear justice has been coming out so much for the last couple of weeks. So it's like when I think of justice, I think of karmic balance. It's the karmic justice, and the scales balancing on a karmic level from the macro to the micro. But the first card we got was Nine of Wands, which is a challenging card, but at the same time, it's not. It's the wounded warrior. So and it's the card of perseverance. So Spirit is saying, persevere. I know you're wounded. I know you're tired. I know you have a lot of baggage. I know you have a lot of wounds that you're carrying, but now is a chance to unload some of those, especially here with temperance. Temperance is another card of balance. Balance and, in this in this image, it's a more simple, but in the traditional Rider Waite rendition of the temperance, you have Archangel Michael pouring one cup into another cup. It's like balancing out the waters, the emotional balance, but it's also divine. He's got the archangel has one toe dipped in the water, and the other one planted on earth. So it's like having one toe dipped in spirituality and another toe rooted in the material and in the here and now. But uh, temperance, it's a card. It's fire and water. It's Sagittarius, associated with Sag, which is a fire sign, and but it's also water because it's the cup suit. So, and because we have two major arcana here, I feel like this is a balance in itself. With we have two cards of balance: the scales with justice, and then with temperance, balance as well. It's divine balance, karmic justice, and trust that what's going on behind the scenes is working to your favor, and you just need to keep going, persevere here with this Nine of Wands. Persevere. So even with having two major arcana, the number two is about balance. It's also decisions, but in this situation, it's in this scenario here in this spread, it's really highlighting balance with both of these cards. And then the Nine of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have Six of Wands. Six of Wands is recognition, victory. It's success. So know that what you are alchemizing, you'll be successful. This is the reward at the end. Six of Wands is the reward at the end. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Justice, temperance, Nine of Wands. All right, so we're at 43:04. All right, we have enough time. I'm gonna pull a message from Otherworld Oracle, and then I'm gonna leave you guys there, and so you can get to it. Whatever full moon plans you have, rituals, ceremonies, journaling, whatever you plan on doing. If nothing, you just plan on weathering the storm without any intention, that's fine too. Thank you, Spirit. What message do we have for the collective, for the greatest good of all? Guidance. There we go. Dreams. Right. And at the bottom of the deck, forgiveness. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Forgiveness. That's one of those things, I'm not the type that's gonna I advocate. I'll advocate for forgiveness, sure, but I advocate for forgiveness in your own divine timing. It's something that can't be forced, rushed, or manipulated or bypassed. It's something that you have to feel it in your heart and your soul in order to truly do, or you're just telling yourself lies and creating more things to cover up and uncover later and let go of and release. So, with that said, let's read these real quick. 18. 8, 18. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Dreams. Dreams paint vivid landscapes, forge connections, and whisper promises of what might be. When a dream comes true, it's like witnessing a symphony of emotions and experiences harmonize in perfect accord. It's the culmination of hopes, the affirmation that perseverance and belief can yield tangible results. They make your world full of colors and fairy tales. Some dreams will come true, others are shifted into the future. They'll keep your hopes alive. Eventually, you'll feel ready to lay your dreams on the altar, to let go of all matter and walk through the portal of the beyond. Enjoy your dreams. They are the words of your mortal desires. Embrace them with humility and gratitude. In this regard, I think it means quite literally and figuratively because, yes, our dreams matter and our dreams can be quite revealing, but I also take this to me to be in a sense like our incarnations now. You know, it's often referred to, these aren't incarnations, are often referred to as the dream state. Right now we're dreaming, and when we leave this mortal realm is when we actually awaken. So interesting. um we won't go too much more into depth with that. We're going to go into forgiveness, which is number 9. Oh wait, and this one was 18. 18 in the tarot is the moon, which is which also represents intuition, water signs, intuition, um, the dream realms, uh, Neptune, associated with Pisces. Okay. Anyway, and it's also a 9. So we've got here. I don't remember if it was in the last video. I don't remember, but there was another video. We got 9s. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. I don't remember which one, but look, 9, 9. 18 reduces to a 9. Okay, so 9s could be significant. You could be seeing angel numbers. You could be seeing 999. 9 is a number of completion. You could be a life path number 9, like myself. I'm a life path number 9. We're also in a year 9. Year 9 is in the year of the snake, which is the snake is all about transformation. I think it was in my last video where I mentioned this whole entire year is going to be about transformational growth and change, especially with Pluto in Aquarius, and it being a year 9 of completion and the year of the snake. Or my snake ears, my earrings, my snake ears, my snake earrings in honor of tonight's full moon energy. All right, so, but yes, forgiveness. Let's keep going. Here we go. Forgiveness. Forgiveness has the power to set you free. It is a powerful force that can work miracles beyond our understanding. Forgiveness operates beyond human knowledge and dissolves the veils of anger and rancor, transforming them into the purest love. Love without judgment or prejudice flows boundless and free. With each act of forgiveness, you embrace the freedom that only such grace can bestow. There lies the key to unlock the infinite expanse of love. Where opinions dissolve and the soul finds its truest home, if you don't feel ready yet, acknowledge the path you have taken and embrace the last steps until the decision to forgive will be chosen by you. I'm glad it mentioned that, because I feel like that's an important aspect of forgiveness, which is doing it not because it's the thing to do, but because you're ready to, because you feel it in your soul to do that. So that's all I have for you. I hope this message helps. I hope this resonated with you. If it did resonate with you, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Also, feel free to come back for more. There will be more. I know it had been a while since my last post. I've been kind of busy. I've been trying to stay really active, come out of my comfort zone. I've been taking the train and the bus periodically, just doing things to really get out of my comfort zone and try to open myself up to possibilities and opportunities, and just be the phoenix rising out of the ashes. I've been in hermit mode for a really long time. So uh, again, that's all I have for you. I See you next time. Take care and keep on rising.